If you got a baggie, welcome to the party. Welcome back to some more Moon O'Clock News. Bagman, bag ladies, we got a potential banking NDA that could propel XRP to the #1 spot and beyond triple digits as a digital transformation of wealth accelerates. In these next few minutes, I'm breaking down why this could be the catalyst that changes everything. Buckle up and let's go full speed, full throttle into the cryptoverse.
I get a lot of shit from the Ripple XRP people, which you gave me a funny story before, which we talk about.
The news is there is not going to be one ledger. There is not going to be one payment system. There is not going to be one blockchain. There's not going to be...
Call it affiliations with American banks. So basically, one of the big American banks would be the backstop for this stablecoin. So basically...
Entire crew is go. Enjoy the ride, pal.
Shout out to the latest sub. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in. Make sure to drop a likey on the win. Help boost up those algorithms. We got the total global cryptocurrency market cap today at 3.44 trillion, down about 2.2% in the past 24. We got XRP right around $2.16. Stellar XLM right around 35 cents. BTC 94,600. We got ETH right around 33, 34 hundo. We got one from XRP drops to pop things off. Google's Willow quantum chip with a calculation under 5 minutes would take the fastest supercomputer 10 to 25 years.
And results are pretty surprising. By our best estimates, a calculation that takes Willow under 5 minutes would take the fastest supercomputer 10 to the 25 years. That's a 1 with 25 zeros following it, or a timescale way longer than the age of the universe.
We got John Deaton, hate him or love him, it's a fact. Early on, Charles Gasparino, what the hell, from Eleanor Terrett, was the only mainstream journalist who reported on the regulatory overreach by the SEC.
Also saying crazy stuff. I get a lot of shit from the Ripple XRP people, which you gave me a funny story before, which we talk about. I was the mainstream reporter that dived into how they might have been unfairly singled out. I mean, me and Ellie Terrett literally wrote this seminal piece on this. Mm-hmm. And we wrote it because it was so bizarre what happened. I did a hit. So when Ellie's sitting over there, when did we write that story? November 2021. Okay, November 2021.
Top of the market.
We wrote the story about how this company, Ripple, is under the gun from the SEC, and how, there's this huge, fight that's going on about whether they're being unfairly prosecuted or regulated. And we covered it from many different angles. The reason why I did that story is because maybe 3 or 4 years earlier, I did a piece about, I think it was about Ethereum and consensus, where I said they're looking to establish a regulatory regime. Mm-hmm. A guy named John Deaton, who's like a big XRP guy and a good friend of mine, John Deaton found that clip and he posted it, and I got like 4 million tweets at me. I mean, remember, it was like nonstop and it kept going. So I called John Deaton up. He didn't know me. I don't know him. And I said, what is this? He goes, you don't remember doing this? I said, yeah, kind of. It was like years ago. And then he introduced me to the Ripple case. And so
we got Mr. Man XRP. Interoperability of layer 1 blockchains such as XRPO, XLM, IOTA, HBAR, Algo Quant is the key to constructing a unified ledger to allow for the seamless movement of all value.
The news is there is not going to be one ledger. There is not going to be one payment system. There is not going to be one blockchain. There's not going to be, just like there isn't one web server, just like there isn't one payment system on the internet, there's one internet. But there's a whole bunch of different systems on it. And the reason for that is that people like different things out of their ledgers. And we want innovation. Ledgers are important. They track assets. People want high frequency trading. They want ledgers that respond to government subpoenas. They want ledgers that have different rules. Some people want ledgers that are fully public. Some people want ledgers that are private. Some people will refuse to participate in a system if North Korea has access to it because they have regulatory requirements. There is not going to be one payment system But we don't want ledgers to be islands either. We need a standard. We need a way to make payments across ledgers. We need a way to build a system that consists of a number of payment systems forming one network. Just like the internet connected a large number of private networks together, and we need a neutral standard.
And it was just so obvious to us that there was clear trade-offs. No matter what platform you went to, you just have to choose if you want to have high throughput, if you want to have real decentralization, if you want to have scaling. And these layer 2 solutions just really weren't, the sacrifices you had to make layer 2 work just didn't make sense. So it seemed like all the trade-offs had to be done at the layer 1 base level. And, if you take the view that everything is going to be interoperable in the future and these different layer 1s can specialize in doing one thing well and then be combined by developers to then create the ultimate end application for users, that design paradigm just seemed to make a lot of sense.
The one world ledger, XRP, built for utility, built to move all the value. We got the Angry Crypto Show. Justin Cardano, ADA founder Charles says it. We like to include Ripple in the Midnight ecosystem. There are ongoing talks. First step was technical conversations with Ripple CTO David Schwartz, the architect.
Can you share any new updates regarding your talks with Ripple? They're early days. We'd like to include Ripple in the Midnight ecosystem. And there are ongoing talks between the Midnight people and the Ripple people, and a lot of technological talks as well. And we've been trying to learn more about how their stack works. There's some Cardano tech we invented, in particular Marlowe, that would be tremendously useful with the Ripple ecosystem. And it would be a lot of fun to see what we could do there. Also, just some things in Ripple like Flare, for example, are pretty cool, pretty interesting. But, it takes time for these things to ferment. And first step was just technical conversations. And that's what we did with David, who's been tremendously helpful and a great asset. And then at some point, once you've gotten beyond that, then there's actual integration work and other things to get done.
Could this potential NDA that was set to be released in 2021 propel XRP to triple digits? All the money, all the value. 1,700 plus NDA set to be unlocked. Pro SEC crypto administration set to come in. Gary Gensler out the door. Trump, American-made cryptos. Ripple Bank of America partnership will officially be announced soon.
But they have a finance ministry and they have, call it affiliations with American banks. So basically, one of the big American banks would be the backstop for this stablecoin. So basically, one of the big American banks would be the backstop for this stablecoin. So it is the same as a US dollar in all intents and purposes, because obviously that American bank is backstopped by the Federal Reserve and the bank there. So we've got two really interesting projects that are live and lots of discussions happening.
I think one thing that will make that more practical, what we really, really need on the XRP ledger is a fantastic US dollar stablecoin, European Euro stablecoin. If we had really good stablecoins in the major currencies, which we don't have yet, then using the DEX would be more practical. So that's also something that we're hoping will happen. We came very, very close to that. We had a deal that I thought was going to close, and then that was 2.5 years ago when the SEC filed suit against us, and so that kind of torpedoed that deal. So we'll see. But we're talking to banks and larger financial institutions about trying to get them to launch some premium stable coins to make that more practical.
We're talking to banks and larger financial institutions about trying to get them to launch some premium stable coins to make that more practical.
Utility trumps all. And could this be the secret announcement that was in the wings until the SEC came in and shut it down? Could this be one of the potential banking NDAs set to be unlocked in 2025? We got here from 2020. Hey, Alex, hope you're doing well. We noticed that you tweeted about the Bank of America article. We're excited about the news, but unfortunately, this information was leaked prematurely and the content is not current. We're planning a larger campaign around the actual announcement, and would really appreciate it if you could remove the tweet so that we can launch a large campaign around the news when it goes live. We've also reached out to the publication to remove the article. Thank you in advance for your consideration. Cobb says, yeah, no problem. We'll remove it. They say, thank you. Really appreciate it. Polina. This was February 2020, and what happened in December? SEC came in with a fraudulent lawsuit with XRPs, not a security. Could this potential NDA set to be unlocked in 2025 propel XRP to that #1 spot? Let me know what your thoughts on the Bank of America announcement down below. We also got documented Ripple, another confirmation here, Bank of America on the Ripple website. Know what you hold, know what's coming, and know why. They want you out. We got XRP drops, U.S. Congress in 2025, stablecoin legislation, FIT 21 Act, digital asset market infrastructure bill, general regulatory clarity, strategic Bitcoin reserve, the prospect of a crypto-related bills, XRP ETF, crypto council, more catalysts in play set to pump XRP. Much higher.
Now prioritizing crypto legislation in 2025. This is kind of a rundown on everything that's going on. I think one of the key things that I'm looking at, of course, stablecoin legislation. I think this gets us into, kind of the cheat code for crypto in general. And it will do something that I think will change the dynamic of blockchain. And what I mean by that is this is going to enable businesses to use stablecoins to basically hack the situation that is occurring around merchant fees. If you guys know anything about how businesses are operating on e-commerce, they're dealing with merchant fees. If we get some sort of implementation where we can see stablecoin usage in lieu of credit card, that I think will be a big factor in taking payment in the future. So big factor there. And of course you have the FIT 21 Act. The passage of that could be, even though it's a little bit uncertain, it's still very, very bipartisan. So there's a possibility we could see that. Stablecoin, I think, is going to be a slam dunk. I don't necessarily think we're going to see a early move on the Bitcoin reserve. I do think we will see ETFs coming in early, whether that is going to be, we've heard everything from Hedera, XRP, Solana. All of those I think will be early stage for ETFs. I personally think it's going to be XRP first, and I think that will be another factor that will be very bullish for a lot of the altcoins, but also for just crypto in general.
2025 will be the year of XRP taking back that #1 spot. Know what you hold. We got AgRat Crypto, linear regression, time and target prediction, 640, 850, 1370, 2750, March or November 2025. Take a look at XRP's move in the 2016 BTC halving cycle. Here we have XRP's first moonshot, April of 2017. And as you see here, after this first moonshot, a lot of downside for XRP until it was ready to move up until that second moonshot. Taking a look at USDT dominance in our current cycle compared to the 2020 cycle here. It looks like we're right around this zone for the USDT dominance here. Waiting on USDT dominance to finish off the move here and continue to fall lower. As you see here in our current cycle, waiting for this USDT dominance to finish off this correction and potentially hit these profit taking levels as cryptocurrencies and XRP move up to moonshot 2. And take a look at the entire XRP chart here compared to the 2016 cycle. Looks like we're right here in this range here. Moonshot 1 completed, getting ready for that second moonshot. We got digital revolution, 10x times Joe Cats, 10x times square the circle, all the money. Satoshi Nakamoto, know what you hold, 10x magic bubbles to the clouds, to infinity and beyond. With that being said, Batman Bag Ladies, we got how much is your XRP worth? The XRP calculator. By default, the total estimated daily transaction volume in trillions is set to 19. And if we hit the calculate here, we have a value of $1,600 XRP. And down here it says Swift does 5 trillion. What happens if XRP does 1 trillion? You're looking at a $457 XRP. If we refresh this here, as we see here, the total estimated daily transaction volume by default is set to 19. If we change this to 0.5, which is around 500 billion, and then if we take the average time and days between transactions per 1 XRP, by default, they have it set to 5 days. We'll change that to half a day. Also, by default, the store value in USD in trillions is set to around 30 trillion. We'll change that to around 5 trillion. And then we have the duration at which volumes are estimated to be reached in years. We'll have it set to around 3. By default, it's set to around 5. And then the circulating supply by default is set to 60 billion. Currently, the circulating supply is around 57.4 billion. And by default, they got the interest rate set to around 5%. We'll set it to around 3%. And with around 500 billion in daily transaction volume, with the average time and day between the transactions set at a half a day, store of value set to 5 trillion, duration at which we reach these volume, 3 years, circulating supply around 57.4 billion, interest rate. And if we calculate that with just 500 billion in daily transaction volume, we're close to that $100 mark for XRP, all the money, all the value, and we're just a small piece of the prize. XRP will take us to the promised land, and the longer they take, the higher we climb on that XRP rich list. Where will those bags be when that regulation jar molasses finally breaks open and XRP's true price is finally revealed? Later, glitches.
Later, glitches.
BTC Max CNC, it could not scale. Moon fam dancing, that rocket got stealth. Shitcoin, put it on the shelf. We headed towards the wealth. BTC, Maxi, Patsy, Moon fam clapping, they could not tell. Sheep tryna sell when it didn't turn out well. Blink of an eye, red candle, it all fell. Bitcoin was a demo, you ain't get the memo. Net memos, SEC said, oh, we blasting off the ghetto. Big bags on me, middle finger to the devil.